Hello everyone, this is Nintendo, and it's time for a game review. Today's video game review is a Wii game called Sin Punishment Star Successor. Sin Punishment Star Successor is a sequel to a Nintendo 64 game that was only released in Japan, called Sin Punishment. You can actually download the original Sin Punishment game from the Wii Shop channel for only 1,200 Wii points, which is $12. But I'm going to be reviewing the sequel. So let's take a look at this game. So the game starts off as our main characters are flying in a spaceship to escape Earth, when all of a sudden their spaceship is being attacked by intruders. This is where the game starts off, and you start battling your way through enemies to escape the spaceship before it blows up. It's a very action-packed beginning for the first level. Hell, about 95% of the whole game is action-packed. All this running, flying, shooting, slicing, dodging, exploding. What more could you possibly want? Well, maybe perhaps a two-player co-op mode. Unfortunately, I don't have any gameplay footage of the two-player mode, but let me explain to you what it's like. Player 1 gets to play as the main character that flies and shoots and stuff, while Player 2 gets to play as a second cursor, and you work together to kill enemies just by shooting stuff. It's a lot like the two-player mode in Super Mario Galaxy, except it's way better and it's a lot of fun. When you play the game, you have the option to play as two different characters, and each character has their own abilities. I think this is a great idea because it gives the player different ways to play the game. One of the big roles in this game is scoring points. For each level, you have to score as many points as possible. Why, you may ask? Because the game has an online leaderboard feature that allows you to upload your score for each level. However, the levels are very long and you might die a few times, so trying to beat the level with a decent score is quite a challenge. Seriously, this game is hard and you will die a lot. I definitely wouldn't call it the hardest game ever made, considering I've played some frustrating games like Ghosts and Goblins, for example. Ugh. Another game I've got to review sometime in the future. But the nice thing about this game is at least you get to save your progress whenever you pass a checkpoint. You know, like in Call of Duty. The last feature I want to talk about in this game is the fact that you can use different controllers, like, of course, the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, the GameCube controller, the classic controller, and of course, the god-awful Wii Zapper. Another thing I want to say about the gameplay itself is that the game kind of sort of acts like a rail shooter. Your character is always going to be constantly moving through the levels, you can't stop, or you can't speedrun through this game. There are some parts in the game where the game does feel a bit slow-paced, and it kind of drags on. In conclusion, I think the game is okay, but not great, even though it does have an awesome two-player mode and a great online leaderboard feature, but there just really isn't that much replay value to it. And compared to all the other good-looking Wii games out there, Sin Punishment Star Successor, in my opinion, just stands out as an oddball. But again, the game isn't bad, it's just an okay game. So, that's my review of Sin Punishment Star Successor for the Wii. This is Nintendo saying take care, and see you later.
I'm lucky to be alive. Uh-oh, where's Kachi? Kachi? Kachi! Kachi, you okay?
Of course. Good as new.